Hello everyone, today's video is going to be my palette roundup for December. So these are going to be the last and final looks of 2025, and this is the series I've been doing on my channel since the very beginning. You guys tend to love and enjoy them, and this is where I showed you guys all the palettes that I used in the previous month, and I rank them based off of usage, and then I also show you guys all the looks that I've done throughout the month. Actually, in December, the week of Christmas, I had a cold, so makeup was stagnant there, and then I had like a week of peace, and then I had the flu. So back to back to back to back to back. In December, I only wore makeup 23 days, which is very low for me. I usually am wearing makeup like 5 to 7 days a week. I'm usually around the 26 number, around there. So only wearing makeup 23 days was quite a big jump. And I did get 3 new palettes in December. So 2 of them were Christmas presents, which we'll go and talk about. And then 1 of them was a purchase. And I used a total of 19 different palettes in December. I did use 15 different palettes one time. So we're just gonna get on into it. I'm gonna show you all my looks, and this here is the first palette we have. So this palette I got in an Ulta haul. I believe I shared that Ulta haul with you guys, and if I did, I will leave it linked down below. But this is the Makeup Revolution Mini Enchanted Icon. So this look, I used all 4 colors. Very, very, very simple. Very simple look, but this is a very nice quality. At least the quality in these like icon palettes seem to be really, really good. So if you're on a budget and you're looking for an eyeshadow palette, a color story perhaps, I would recommend going to Makeup Revolution because I was really impressed with all of these like formulas. So we had the one here is a cream, you have one matte, this one is like a sparkly topper, and then this one felt like a true like shimmer, but it's a split pan. I don't know if you could tell. Really impressed with all 4 of these formulas. And then this look was the outcome of just using all 4. These are very light colors, so it's a very light neutral look. I used my Tartelette Juicy palette. I used this in combination with something else, so you will be seeing this look later in the video as well. But this is the palette. I just used some of the pinks, and like I said, it is in combination with something else. So those purples obviously did not come from this palette. I really do love this Tartelette Juicy palette. If I was a normal everyday person, and like I'm not already now, but if I didn't have the makeup collection that I have, this is a color story that I would be wearing like every single day. The pinky neutrals is up my alley for sure. Really love this palette, great quality. I love Tarte's eyeshadow formula. They have a very, very nice beginner friendly formula. And they also have a lot of, they specialize more in like neutral looks. The reason why this look is a little bit more colorful is because I did pair it with a different palette. Another pinky purple look. I do have a theme. I really do like my pinks and purples. So I did pull out my Blessed palette from Sydney Grace. I got this earlier this year. Such a perfect, like really great color story here. But I used the purples and the pinks. So I definitely used this purple shade. I believe I used this pink shimmer here. This palette, you can do a lot of different things with this palette. I have really enjoyed this palette a lot, and I think it is very universal. I believe this is still on the Sydney Grace website, and I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy it. A lot of you guys had questions about this palette, and I did film a video with this palette. I swear I got in like 2 or 3 comments, "What's on your eyes?" And a lot of you guys really liked it on Instagram. So a lot of you guys really, really liked this eye look. And it is this green and gold, and I ended up using my Nomad Route 66. This ranked pretty high in my Nomad ranking, and I'll leave that link down below for you. I really enjoyed this palette. This is the one and only palette this entire year that I have gotten in PR, and not enough people use my Nomad code. So I ain't getting PR in 2026, but that's fine. I'm not here to push new shit to you. So the Nomad Route 66 This would not be a palette I would have gone out and purchased by myself, but I did get NPR, so of course I have it in my collection. I'm going to use it, and I thoroughly enjoy this palette. I like this palette much more than I originally thought I would, and I'm very happy to have it. So I did definitely use this bright green, and then I used this gold all over the lid. So you guys really was questioning what I had on the eyes. This was what I had on the eyes. Really do enjoy this palette, and I'm very grateful for Nomad for sending it to me. And I believe my code still works, so if you want 10% off of Nomad, it's down below. Another very basic neutral look. In the winter time, I really do enjoy bringing out my Rose Quartz palette from Huda Beauty, and this is just a simple look. Again, if I was a simple everyday person that didn't really have a makeup collection, this is the type of palette that I would have, because I could have my cool tones, my warm tones, and then my pinky, ethereal type of shades. So this one, I don't remember the colors that I used. I'm sure I used a combination of these mattes. I very rarely get up at the time I'm supposed to get up if I want to be able to do stuff onto my eyes, in a more creative manner like today. I spent a little bit extra time on my makeup today, but this was like a 2 eyeshadow look, a 3 eyeshadow look tops. So there is a lot of basic, very boring type of makeup in my looks because I'm doing it quickly to go to work. This one is really fun and exciting and bright and pretty. I just feel very pretty in pink eyeshadow, so I did use the Vintage Glam Remixed palette from Gloss Gods for this look, and I think I just used everything that's in what would be the top row if I had it up the correct manner, but I think I just used all 4 of these colors. It was a very pretty look. I think pink looks really flattering on my skin tone, and I really like the overall vibe of my makeup that day. I really do. Pink eyeshadow is one of my favorites to wear. I did bring out my Fantasy Cosmetica The Witch's Familiar palette. So I really wanted to do like a red look for Christmas. So I am wearing my Christmas sweater. And when I was thinking of red eyeshadow, I thought of this palette. So I used the reds, and I also used the blue shimmer. Kind of like, it looks a little bit silvery, because you know how blue and silver go together. So it looks like a silver and red sort of look. I really did enjoy this. So this is more of like a Halloween sort of palette. Like, it's spooky vibes, it's witches, the color story is a little bit spooky. But this is a beautiful palette for like any time of year, honestly, because I could do a very pretty holiday look, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. This one was very fun to pull out. I really do enjoy my Fantasy Cosmetica Rogue palette. I think this is such a stunning palette, and unfortunately, I think this one got discontinued. This is probably one of my favorite ones from Fantasy Cosmetica, the 9 pans, because I think this is just so universal. You really have 3 options with this. You have the purple, you have blue, and you have green. You could intermix like the look I have today. So I have like the purpley shade in my crease, but I have like the blue on the outer corner. Then you have like these flippy shades. You can kind of morph your look around. And I think this specific look is very flattering. But this is probably one of my favorite Fantasy Cosmetica palettes. So I have a friend on Instagram. Her name is Donna, or Dana. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Dana Reviews Makeup, or Donna Reviews Makeup. Anyway, I will leave her Instagram link down below. She can do such lovely, deep, smoky looks, like effortlessly. Beautiful makeup. She does an amazing job. Anyway, she has been using the Druid palette from Fantasy Cosmetica quite a bit this year, or quite a bit recently that I've been seeing. So of course I needed to pull it out. This is another one of those palettes that I think is very universal, and I really did enjoy the look that I did. So you can go pretty neutral with this, and because you do have this matte brown, you do have this like burgundy shade, so you can set a bunch of different ways up with this palette. I think Fantasy Cosmetica does a really good job with their 9 pans. And I think I used the shade Balance here which is kind of like a neutral purpley vibe with green. You definitely can tell green in the camera, but I believe that is all over my lid. It's one of my, I think it's my favorite shade in this entire palette, but I'm wearing like an army green shirt. I thought it went very well. I think it paired very nicely, but this palette does go quite a bit deeper than my personal like comfort zone. But Donna, whatever, however you pronounce her name, love her Instagram. She does an amazing job, but she inspired me to use this palette, which is why I used it this month. I am gonna have to rank my, you know, all my new 2025 palettes, the palettes that came into my collection in 2025. I'm gonna have to rank them. So I was looking at my previous videos, and Gloomy Gardens did make #1 in 2024. And I decided to use it again. This palette is lovely. I love this palette. The look that I wore, I love it. I thoroughly enjoy this look. They blend out beautifully. The shimmers are gorgeous. This is just such an amazing palette in my brain. So this look here, one of my favorite looks that I make with this palette, I definitely use these like purpley burgundy tones. I can't remember what shimmer I used. I have no clue. It is all on my Instagram. But this look, I feel so pretty into it, and I think it really goes with the rest of the vibe of my makeup look. Thoroughly enjoy it. In December, we did a lot of winter related things, so I wanted to pull out my Winter Wonderland palette from Cosmic Brushes, and we went to this Winter Wonderland thing that is near me, and I did use this palette. So I used the blues, so I don't know which variety of blues, but this is a gorgeous palette. I'm so glad I have this palette, and you know, I kind of went with the whole vibe. I had the blue shirt on, I had the blue eyeshadow on, but really did enjoy this look. Again, I feel very pretty in blue, I feel very pretty in pink, I feel really pretty in a lot of different colors, but I really was feeling myself with this look. Another pink look, who is shocked? So I did use my Cosmic Brushes 'Tis the Season for this specific look. I used these like between the purple and pinky shades. I did do a look with this half of the palette. In November, I did a look with the Warm Row for Thanksgiving. Actually, this was my Throwback Thursday in November, and I will leave that link down below where I did a look with this row. With this row. Unfortunately, I was not able to do a single Saturday or a Throwback Thursday in December. Too much going on. But I did do a really pretty pink and purple look, so I was really happy. Here's one of those really simple, neutral, throw it on the eyes sort of look. I didn't even do eyeliner for this look, so I used the ColourPop off Melrose. This is that palette that if I just need to throw something on, this is what I'm throwing on. It is a beautiful, like, everyday neutral palette. I think I used these two shimmers. This, like, goldy, light goldish color. And I think it has, like, a green tinge to it. Very basic, simple look. I didn't even put winged eyeliner on. You know, very fresh face, very fresh eye sort of vibe that I was going. But I really did like the look. Okay, something fun, something creative, something really exciting. I really wanted to do a, like, what shall I call it? Like a sunset eye. Ever since I got the Blend Bunny Surge, I have been wanting to do a sunset eye with it. It just calls for a sunset eye, I feel. You know what I mean? It just calls for it. So what I did is I used a lot of the palette and I created this really fun look. The shimmers in this palette, trash. Really, they're not very good. But these are the very old formula for Blend Bunny. The Blend Bunny shimmers that I have in my other palettes are much better than this. There's just not enough oomph in these shimmers. So because there wasn't enough oomph in the shimmer, that's when I started to do the yellow line. And then I did this pop of yellow in the inner corner. So I thought this look was very fun. You guys really liked it over on Instagram. I thought it was very creative. I don't do a whole lot of looks like that anymore because obviously I don't have time to do it before work, and I work in a financial institution. I don't feel it is appropriate to wear that sort of makeup to work. I mean, I wore this to work. They really don't care within reason. And then like on the weekends, like I do this type of thing if I know we're not going anywhere. Like I don't mind like going to Walmart, going grocery shopping with this type of makeup on. And actually I do get compliments if I do wear stuff like this out and about. But it's more of a like, I really only do it for me thing at home. Like I don't need to go out in public for it. So that look was very, very fun. I had a lot of fun using this Surge palette. Sugar and Grunge from Blend Bunny is also a newer one to me in my collection. This is significantly more muted. The shimmers are a lot better than the one in the Surge palette. So what I ended up doing with this is I did green on the top and then I did purple on the bottom. I've said in a different video, I can't remember which video, but these Blend Bunny palettes that are in strict columns like this, I feel very creatively limited because I feel stuck in each individual column. So that's kind of why I did this like two-tone sort of look. I did greens on the top, purples on the bottom so I could use some more of the colors. I do really enjoy this look. I actually have used this in January so far. So that'll be fun and exciting to see in February when I end up filming my January palette roundup. But this was a nice look, although it was quite simple. Actually, that was the last palette that I used one time. So like I said, that was 15 different palettes I spewed at you. Now we have 3 palettes that got used twice in the month of December. So this first look was the Made with My Bratz palette. This, you're gonna see in my ranking all of the eyeshadow palettes in my collection based off usage. This got a lot of use in 2025. I'm glad to hear it. I really do love this palette. So I did 2 different looks with this palette in December, which I've already said. So this first look is very similar to the look I did with Rogue, where I used purple on the lid and also in the crease, but then I used this blue and maybe the black to really build up my crease. So very similar vibes between this look and the look I did with Rogue, but I overall really like the color story, so I'm not even mad about it. Then this second look that I did, this is the look I did on New Year's Eve, the day that I got freaking flu. So, because I have not been around any other sick person other than the person I was around on New Year's Eve. So this is the look I did. I felt this look. I was so excited for this look. I sat down. I didn't do my makeup for work that day because I did go to work on New Year's Eve. Anyway, I come home. You know, I get the house a little readied up. I take my shower or I get ready and I sit down at my little desk and I'm like, I'm going to play with makeup. So I was just, you know, blending and getting so happy and so creative. Like, makeup is just pure fun to me. Then I created this look. Honestly, the same look I did last year for New Year's Eve, because I did use this last year for New Year's Eve as well. It just looks like a party palette. This shade, and this shade are all of the ColourPop like glittery shades that I actually kind of like. But I used the gray and the black. I used this shade to blend it out. I used the gold glitter all over the lid. I did a cut crease. I did the whole shebang. Then to make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting, I threw the purple into my inner corner. And I think that really set the whole look off. That's really what made it special. And then I took a flippy highlighter from Ace Beauté, I think, in my palette. And I threw that on top of the purple. I also used it on my cheeks. I was feeling this look. You know, I made my hair look all nice. It was like my makeup, perfect. Loved it. Obviously, you can tell how excited I am. I really thoroughly enjoyed this look. And it was a shame that I got sick and I got the flu. Very sad. Now we're getting into both the palettes I got for Christmas. So I did get 2 palettes for Christmas. I only was able to use both palettes that I got for Christmas twice before the new year started. So I will leave my what I got for Christmas video down below if you feel so entitled to watch. but I do have my Nomad Pacific Northwest. The second this came out, I knew it was coming out in my life. I mean, look at this packaging. Like, Nomad really set it off with this. It's probably my brand new favorite Nomad palette, and it's hard to beat my top Nomad palette, or my top like 2 Nomad palettes. Like, this has like rose to the top. They did an amazing job with this. And this first look I did was something very simple and very basic. I was very, very intrigued by this like duochrome looking shade. So that's primarily what is on the eyes. This is a very simple sort of look, very, very simple sort of look. I thought it looked very pretty. I felt very pretty in that look. And then the second look I did was a lot more smoky. I channeled my inner Donna. I feel very upset that I don't know which one it is. Donna, I don't know. I love you regardless. But I did do a short / reel to make this look, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And it was a very fun look. I used a lot of different colors. Can't wait to use this some more. And this is like a top palette for me. The other palette that I got for Christmas, I technically bought for myself on Black Friday, and I wrapped it under the tree. It was the Gourmand Girls Mocha Moment palette. They're rebranding, and everything was 40% off on Black Friday. So I'm like, don't mind if I do. So this is the palette. I have done a lot of neutral looks this year. In general, this is a very good day-to-day palette for me. So this first look, again, wearing the Christmas sweater. That sweater is really only a thing that I wear during like the holiday time, very holiday-esque. So I did wear it twice in December, obviously. Or I probably wore it more, I just didn't wear makeup those days, but I do wear it quite a bit in December. So I really wanted to do like a classic Christmas look with this. So I did use, of course, some of the neutrals, and then I used this kind of like chunkier silver shade. I have not had this issue with any of the other shimmers I've tried, but this is a little too chunky. So when I would put it on my eye, it felt like I was ripping my eyelid off. It was a little not great feeling, but the overall look I really like, and I don't know if I like this shade, which is a shame. The next look I did, I don't think I even used the green. I think I used a different other combination of stuff, and I think I used this shade. I think so. I have no clue. But it just has this like greenish tone in the outer corner. I thought it looked so pretty. So I really loved both looks I got with this in the month of December. I'm very glad to have this palette, but this is really great. Actually, it has approved for use around the eye area. So Marble Mocha is approved for use around the eye area, which is crazy because I feel like that is the one that like felt like I was taking my eyelid off when I was putting it on. Like, it has a chunkiness to it. It is not a favorite formula, but this shade here is like smooth as a baby's bottom. So I was not bothered by that shade at all. I do have to use this a couple more times, to use all the shades in the palette, but I thoroughly enjoy it so far. But Nomad takes the cake. I do have one palette that I used 3 times in December. The only reason why I used it 3 times in December is because I had a No Pan Left Behind goal on it for my deck of panning. So that is my ColourPop All Amethyst. So I did do 3 different looks. So this first look here is just a very simple purple look. I mean, I really do like this palette, I do. But I did a very basic purple look. Then I did the look that included the Tarte Juicy palette. So that purple shade you're seeing is this purple shade that's in this corner. I don't know, when I look at this palette, this purple throws me off. Like, all that goes together, then you throw in that purple shade. It's like it doesn't really belong. So I don't know how to use this shade amongst all this other stuff. So that's why I incorporated a different palette to utilize the purple shade. One of my favorite looks the entire month, and I'm not going to show it to you because I did it in a Project Pan Get Ready With Me. So I did 2 Project Pan Get Ready With Me's this year. I did one in the middle of the year, like June, July-ish area. And then I did one at the very, very tail end of the year, right before my Deck of Panning update. So I needed to use this, No Pan Left Behind. So I did this really pretty, like, cool tone. Like, it was primarily this shade. Oh, it was a beautiful look. Beautiful look. But probably my favorite look of the entire month. It was so simple. It was so simple. And I will, of course, leave my Project Pan Get Ready With Me linked down below so you can watch it. But it was probably my favorite look of the entire month. And, you know, just to do a little bit of recapping again, I got sick at the end of December. Whoop-de-doo. And because of that, I wore makeup less often. So I wore makeup 23 days, which is still quite a bit. It is still quite often. But there was a couple days where I wasn't wearing makeup at all. I did get 3 new palettes, so it was the 2 I got for Christmas. So I got my Nomad Pacific Northwest, and then I got the Gourmand Girls Mocha Moment, and then I also got that little Makeup Revolution quad. And in my collection, anything a duo or larger is considered a palette, so it is considered a part of this, I don't want to say project, it's just counting all the uses I get out of my makeup. And I used 19 different palettes in my collection. 15 different palettes got used once, so I did spread the wealth, I did spread the love. 3 palettes got used twice, and then 1 palette got used 3 times, but that palette was only used 3 times because it was in a project. If you guys enjoy these videos, I do have 2 years worth. January onward is going to be my 3rd year doing all of my palette roundups. I do have an entire palette roundup playlist. I will of course link that down below. If you want more inspiration, things of that nature, all of those are going to be linked down below. A lot of you guys really enjoy this series, and I've been doing it ever since I started my channel, and it's very special to me, and I love doing these videos every single month. Usually I do not wait till halfway through the month to upload it, but you know, there was makeup inventory, there was empties videos, there was intros to projects, you know, there was other stuff going on in January. Also, probably would have filmed it much sooner if I didn't have the flu and recovering from the flu. So that is that. I love and appreciate all of you guys for being here and watching me. It means so much to me that you are here. I've recently hit 800 subscribers, which is also very, very exciting. I love and appreciate every single one of you guys here. It truly makes my day. And if you enjoy Project Panning, if you're lingering, if you like eyeshadow related content, if you like any of the sorts, I highly recommend you subscribe. I recommend you like this video, hype the video up so more people can see this video. And what was your favorite look that I did this past month? And I shall see you all in my next video.